These were the names behind the crimes. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 disturbing serial killer nicknames. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be ranking the nicknames of accused or convicted serial killers that captured the morbid imaginations of the world at large.
He then pumped in concentrated sulfuric acid, put the body in there wearing the gas mask, the apron, the gloves, and the other bits and pieces.
We'll be taking into account both self-appointed nicknames as well as monikers given to these killers by the press, the police, or their victims. They may be memorable for all the wrong reasons, yet their infamy lives on.
This is the story of how Britain's most prolific serial killer got away with murder for 27 years.
Number 10. The Hillside Stranglers, Kenneth Bianchi and Angelo Buono. The disturbing roots of this nickname are simple to understand, as bodies of strangled female victims were found dumped along LA's Hollywood Hills during the late 1970s. Initially, the nickname was the singular Hillside Strangler, as the press didn't know there was more than one sicko at work.
I mean, we're in this thing together.
But when police revealed that cousins Kenneth Bianchi and Angelo Buono were working together in their crimes, the nickname became what we know today. The brutality of their killings, coupled with the fear and trepidation the Stranglers instilled in the California community, make these serial killers some of the decade's most infamous.
Considered it, one of the worst crimes imaginable, and that the persons deserved the most severe punishment.
Number 9. The Son of Sam, David Berkowitz.
Son of Sam.
David Berkowitz gained international infamy when he claimed that his neighbor Sam's demonic dog Harvey was speaking to him, commanding that he commit cold-blooded murder. These are the origins of Berkowitz's metamorphosis into the Son of Sam, who was also known as the .44 caliber killer, his murder weapon of choice when attacking couples parked in cars.
Wait, what's he saying?
I think he's saying Son of Sam, oh my God!
The satanic implications behind Berkowitz's nickname held New York City in a grip of fear during 1976 and 77. His legacy continues to be felt today, as the Son of Sam laws exist to prevent killers from financially profiting from their crimes. Number 8. The Lady Killer, Ted Bundy. By all accounts, Ted Bundy was a handsome young man, yet beneath the surface lurked the soul of one of America's most infamous serial killers. Bundy was nicknamed the Lady Killer, both because of his proclivity to kill women and the way his looks lulled them into a false sense of security.
And you say, okay, because he looks like the fabric of the university community. He didn't look like an outsider. He didn't look like we would think about a predator.
Bundy would usually meet his victims in a public place and use some sort of ruse to lure them somewhere with more privacy. Before he was finally caught for good, Bundy's smooth and sometimes not so smooth ways resulted in dozens of deaths. The exact number isn't known.
You could just put him on the floor right there.
Number 7. The Dating Game Killer, Rodney Alcala. The next criminal on our list could have very easily been known by a completely different name, were it not for one fateful TV appearance. Back in 1978, Rodney Alcala somehow appeared on The Dating Game despite having an arrest record detailing sexual misconduct.
Come on, over here.
He won a date with Bachelorette Cheryl Bradshaw, but she found him too creepy to actually go out with. Since it turns out Alcala had already begun his serial killer career, eventually killing at least 7 people, it's a good thing Bradshaw trusted her senses. Alcala's murder victims don't have a dating game connection, but the nickname was too good not to use. Number 6. The BTK Killer, or the Bind, Torture, Kill Killer, Dennis Rader. The origins behind Dennis Rader's moniker, the BTK Killer, are unfortunately very simple and self-explanatory. It was written in the taunting letters Rader wrote to the media and police after his brutal crimes, and was reflected in Rader's horrific methods of madness. Bind, Torture, Kill was the killer's calling card, as Rader left a bloody trail of death throughout the Kansas area. Most of his victims were strangled or otherwise suffocated, but with one victim, Catherine Bright, sustaining almost a dozen stab wounds. Indeed, the BTK Killer's moniker is one of the most troubling on this list, as it brings to mind the true horror of Rader's crimes.
used the term fantasy. Is this something you were doing for your personal pleasure?
Sexual fantasy, sir.
Number 5. The Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez. AC/DC's Night Prowler, or the cult TV movie The Night Stalker, could probably both claim credit for Richard Ramirez's nickname, if they wanted to. The epithet came about from a series of late-night home invasions that plagued the Los Angeles area in the mid-1980s. The Night Stalker claimed he had satanic leanings, and so broke into his victims' homes with a variety of weapons and murderous intent.
Those things happen here in polite society, you get the death sentence. They happen with the enemy, you get a Medal of Honor.
This, combined with Ramirez's brazen personality and heavy metal musical taste, made him a nighttime predator without remorse.
He said, "Tell them I was here. Tell them the Night Stalker was here."
Number 4. The Acid Bath Murderer, John George Haigh.
The idea was that he wouldn't be hanged, of course, but the judge would not have that.
John George Haigh was under the mistaken assumption that he couldn't be convicted of a crime if no remains were to surface. So, as a result, the man who would become known as the Acid Bath Murderer did exactly that. He disposed of his victims in sulfuric acid as a means of hiding his crimes. Haigh often forged his victims' signatures on important legal documents, or otherwise earned a pretty penny from them, in the process earning himself a tidy profit. Despite Haigh's beliefs to the contrary, he was eventually convicted and executed for his crimes in 1949.
And from the very first day I had that dream, I knew that I always wanted to be a vampire.
Number 3. The Florida Sex Beast, Gerard John Schaefer. Gerard John Schaefer, also known as the Florida Sex Beast, used his position as a police officer to abduct, assault, and murder at least 2 women during the early 70s, and may have been responsible for dozens more. Schaefer was dubbed the Sex Beast by reporters, perhaps because of the nature of his crimes, or because he was eventually revealed to have had a long sadomasochistic streak. He also claimed in interviews to have taken many more lives over the years than just the 2 for which he was convicted.
Well, I was originally accused of killing 34 women, but nobody has ever managed to come up with 34 names.
This led to the origins of Schaefer's Sex Beast moniker, which encapsulated the man's unrepentant behavior towards any young woman unfortunate enough to cross his path. Number 2. Dr. Death, Dr. Harold Shipman. There's poor bedside manner, and then there's Harold Shipman. The physician was nicknamed Dr. Death due to the alarmingly high mortality rate among his patients. This was no accident, of course. It was later revealed that Shipman had been intentionally poisoning his patients with high amounts of diamorphine, and then claiming a different cause of death on a false certificate. Shipman also forged the will of at least 1 patient, hoping to defraud the family. He was convicted of killing 15, but the count may actually exceed 200. We may be raised to respect and trust our family physicians, but in the case of Harold Shipman, Dr. Death abused that trust in the worst way possible. Before we reveal our most infamous killer nickname, here are some dishonorable mentions.
I always knew that it was wrong, but after the first killing was not planned.
San Diego, it's goodbye. This big old city is too busy.
Number 1. Jack the Ripper, identity unknown.
Jack the Ripper! Jack the Ripper, ladies and gentlemen! Letter from the Ripper! Come on, ladies and gentlemen!
His name evokes images of top hats, foggy London streets, and gleaming blades in the darkness. He's the mysterious killer known as Jack the Ripper, and he terrorized the Whitechapel district during the late 1800s. Jack's name originates largely from the brutality with which his crimes were committed. Not only were his victims stabbed to death with shocking viciousness, but often internal organs were removed, giving rise to the theory that the killer had some sort of surgical knowledge. The cruelty and violence associated with the Jack the Ripper moniker, and the mystery surrounding it, makes it the most disturbing serial killer moniker of all time.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.